Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong and welcome to the Back Office Teardown Lab. Today we're going to be tearing down an Atari ST Mouse. And if you've had one of these, you'll remember this sort of quite heavy brick block, but they actually feel pretty good. I was using this the other day and I was surprised at how responsive it was. It has this sort of deep pad type connector on it that you remember from all the Atari and Sega Mega Drive Master System type connector. Something interesting about this, you see a lot of adapters to try to adapt this so that you can plug in a regular PC mouse. But in reality, the only thing you can plug in is a PC serial mouse, even if it's got the sort of USB adapter, because it's really just passing through the PS2 signals. And yeah, so they basically adapted a serial mouse using a microcontroller to sort of output what the Atari expects. But apparently what the Atari expects is really simple. I'm going to make a guess on how many wires. Apparently you have X up, X down, Y up, Y down, and then your two buttons, so there should be 5, 6, and then a ground, 7 wires. So we're going to have a look inside. If there's a connector in there, if it's got 7 wires, then we have decoded the Atari myth. Oh, lid is open. There's a bunch of wires and a PCB. Another screw here. These are quite nice. They're like quite chunky, big old screws, not those fiddly, horrible little ones. This, of course, is the optical gates using the sort of infrared transmitter and receiver. I don't know which is which. I suppose it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter at all, actually. Not to us right now. So hardly any crusts at all in there. It's all pretty clean. I like this wavy thing that's going on in the internal moulding. That's a bit odd. Looks almost intentional. The actual buttons, 2 flappy plasticky things, but they are sort of restrained. That's quite nice. And then here, luckily, just standard tack switches. You can see here, very simple standard tack switches, easy to replace. Midasonic. On there you have an LM339N chip doing all the gubbins. I think that might be... Is it a quad comparator? If you're playing along at home, please let me know. There's the PCB, looking a little bit crusty, to be honest with you. And it seems to have had... Be a bit of ginger here. Someone's touched it up here. They obviously had a bit of an accident with it, and they've sort of soldered this on. It does look like some of the old solder pads are a bit deaded, so someone's had a go at this. The wiring doesn't look too great, but let's count the connectors. How many did I predict? Was it 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what I predicted. So let's see how many wires it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, 8 because you have to have a power, of course. 8 to power it, but yeah. 7 I/O. So it's nice and simple. It should be quite possible for me now, knowing this thing, to be able to actually make an actual legit update for one of these with a sort of card. There's plenty of room inside the case. I can gut one of these. If someone has an old broken one, I would love them to offer to send it to me, and I will really try to adapt it. And I'm not going to do it in that sort of same rubbishy way of just getting a serial mouse, because those mice are going to be more and more non-existent, like hen's teeth, really, going forward. I'd like something to be a bit more legit, and we can work out, we can sort of probably Dremel off all of this, clear it out, get a microcontroller in there, get one of those optical mice bases and do some decoding. If we can decode the signal before it gets turned into the USB HID standard, we probably can just piggyback the signal off, convert it, and just send it up the wire. That'd be my goal, my ambition at least. Pop the rest back on. I'm sure there are people working on HID adapters, but I would really like to just do something that lives inside the Atari ST Mouse case, because this is iconic. And what good is an Atari ST with a PC mouse on it, eh? Doesn't look right. It's just not cricket. I'll just fondle the ball one last time and plop it in the hole. Bloop. Back together again, fully assembled. Feels good, works well. Lovely jubbly. The Atari ST-M1. If you please comment down below if you've got any views on the adaptation of these, or using PC mice on your Atari ST. Please like and subscribe if you feel that way inclined. And as ever, thank you for watching.